A strong hold over current affairs is your way to succeed in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Brace yourself and get detailed coverage of relevant news both nationally and internationally. With the monthly current affairs revision program starting from 26th October at 5 p.m. Enroll today and elevate your current affairs knowledge with comprehensive coverage of current affairs compiled through relevant sources such as the Hindu, Indian Express, Economic Times, PIB Yojana, and others. Expert support and personalized mentoring. Comprehensive assessment through MCQs and mains-oriented questions.
Hello and thank you for tuning into this edition of News Today. Before we begin, we would like to take a moment to correct an error made in one of our recent news report. In the news titled, Food and Agriculture Organization released Statistical Yearbook 2024 on 20th November 2024, the statement, India is second largest producer of sugar and Brazil is the largest producer of milk, accounting for 23% in 2022, was given incorrectly. Instead, the correct statement is, India is the second largest producer of sugar after Brazil and the largest producer of milk is instead India, accounting for 23% in 2022. Now coming back, let's have a look at the headlines first. Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor operational, says Union Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. Second India-CARICOM Summit concluded in Guyana. Delhi government seeks centre's permission for cloud seeding in the backdrop of deteriorating air quality. UN report lauds India gender responsive budgeting. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana rural completes 8th year. UNICEF's flagship State of the World's Children 2024 report released. A major development in international trade and maritime connectivity has taken place as the Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor has been officially launched. Union Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways announced that the ski maritime route, also known as the Eastern Maritime Corridor, is now operational, enhancing maritime ties between India and Russia. The idea of the EMC was first conceived at the Eastern Economic Forum held in 2019 in Vladivostok, Russia. It aims to establish a strategic sea route between the Indian port of Chennai and Vladivostok through Northeast Asia, covering a distance of approximately 10,300 kilometers. This route passes through critical regions such as the Sea of Japan, the South China Sea, and the Malacca Strait, connecting India and the Northeast Asia. So what makes this corridor significant? Let's take a closer look. First and foremost, the Chennai-Vladivostok EMC promises to reduce logistics cost significantly. By cutting down transportation time by around 16 days and the distance by nearly 40%, it stands as a more efficient alternative to the current trade route, which runs from Mumbai to St. Petersburg, Russia, via the Suez Canal, a journey that takes about 40 days and spans over 16,066 kilometers. This corridor also aligns with India's ambitions to boost its maritime sector, which already handles 95% of the country's trade by volume and 70% by value. Additionally, it supports India's Maritime Vision 2030, a comprehensive plan that includes over 150 initiatives for the country's maritime development. Strategically, the EMC plays a crucial role in addressing China's dominance, as it passes through the South China Sea, providing India with an alternative route for maritime trade. Vladivostok in particular is strategically located close to the Russia-China border, which could potentially balance regional influence. This development also ties into India's Act Far East policy, aiming to expand access to Russian resources and strengthen India's position within the Pacific trade network. India's maritime ambitions are not limited to the EMC alone. There are significant corridors on the horizon, such as the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor announced during the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi this year, which aims to integrate Asia, Europe and the Middle East. The International North-South Transport Corridor, a project initiated in 2000 to link Russia's Baltic Sea coast with India's western ports in the Arabian Sea, passing through Iran.
Moving ahead, the second India-CARICOM Summit has just concluded in Guyana, marking another significant step in strengthening ties between India and the Caribbean community, or CARICOM. Let's explore the key highlights and their broader implications. At the summit, India proposed 7 key pillars to enhance collaboration with CARICOM nations. These pillars form the acronym CARICOM and include capacity building, agriculture and food security, renewable energy and climate change, innovation, technology and trade, among others. It's worth noting that the first ever India-CARICOM Summit was held back in 2019, laying the foundation for this evolving partnership. For those unfamiliar, CARICOM, or the Caribbean Community, is a regional organization established in 1973 to promote economic integration and cooperation in the Caribbean. It consists of 21 countries, including 15 member states and 6 associate members, such as Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, and Belize. Now, why is CARICOM significant for India? Let's break it down. Many CARICOM nations like Antigua and Barbuda have been strong supporters of India's position in international forums, including its bid for permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council, or UNSC. CARICOM countries also actively participate in South-South cooperation initiatives. For example, several members attended the third Voice of Global South Summit in 2024, organized by India. India's defense partnerships are also gaining traction in the region. A recent highlight is the delivery of 2 Dornier 228 planes to Guyana by HAL. Climate action and energy security are key areas of collaboration. For instance, Suriname's membership in the International Solar Alliance underscores the shared commitment to renewable energy and sustainability. CARICOM also serves as a gateway to Latin America for India and offers opportunities for collaboration in disaster resilience through initiatives like the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Additionally, the region has a vibrant Indian diaspora, particularly in Trinidad and Tobago, fostering cultural and people-to-people ties. The second India-CARICOM Summit has reaffirmed India's commitment to deepening its ties with the Caribbean nations, building on shared priorities and mutual interests.
In response to the deteriorating air quality, the Delhi government has reached out to the centre, seeking permission to employ a unique weather modification technique called cloud seeding. Let's dive into what cloud seeding is and how it could potentially address the pressing issue of air pollution in Delhi. So what exactly is cloud seeding? It's a weather modification technique designed to enhance precipitation, essentially generating artificial rain. The process involves dispersing chemicals such as silver iodide, potassium iodide, and dry ice, which is dispersed into the sky using airplanes and helicopters. These chemicals serve as nuclei, attracting water vapor to form rain clouds. There are 2 main types of cloud seeding. First is hygroscopic cloud seeding. This accelerates the merging of droplets in liquid clouds. Second, glaciogenic cloud seeding. This induces ice formation in supercooled clouds. But why consider cloud seeding as a solution to climate challenges, especially air pollution? Let's look at the arguments. On one hand, there are several benefits. Cloud seeding can help regulate prevailing weather conditions, mitigating the damage caused by storms and hail, while also increasing winter snowfall. It's known to enhance natural water supply, making drier regions more habitable and supporting local communities. Notably, cloud seeding has the potential to disperse air pollutants, reducing the concentration of dust, smoke, and smog, an urgent need for Delhi. Additionally, it can aid agriculture by providing much-needed moisture for crops. However, there are arguments against this method as well. Critics raise several concerns. There is a significant lack of research to verify cloud seeding's effectiveness, particularly in tackling pollution on the scale seen in Delhi. Another limitation is its suitability. Moisture-filled clouds are required and not every cloud is ideal for seeding. The chemicals used, especially silver iodide, could have adverse impacts, potentially causing iodism, a type of iodine poisoning that could be harmful to both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. Finally, there's the question of economic viability, as cloud seeding may cost around ₹1 lakh per square kilometer. In conclusion, while cloud seeding is a promising option, it's not without challenges. The call for action extends beyond just cloud seeding, exploring nature-based solutions like green infrastructure and urban vegetation, or construction-based measures such as carbon capture and storage and bio-based building materials could be effective in the long run. In a significant acknowledgement of India's efforts towards gender equality, a recent report by the United Nations has praised the country's gender-responsive budgeting. The report, titled Charting New Paths for Gender Equality and Empowerment, Asia-Pacific Regional Report on Beijing Plus 30 Review, highlighted that adoption of GRB by India demonstrated strong commitment to ensure the efficient allocation of resources. This report is a collaborative effort by the UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific and UN Women. So what exactly is gender-responsive budgeting? Gender-responsive budgeting, or GRB, is a tool for gender mainstreaming. It uses the national budget as a gateway to examine and integrate a gender perspective into the entire policy-making process. To clarify, GRB is not a separate budget, nor does it imply equal spending on men and women. India's journey with GRB began when it was institutionalized by the Ministry of Finance in 2005 to 2006. Every year, the gender budget statement is presented during the budget session by the government. The Ministry of Women and Child Development serves as the nodal agency overseeing this process. The gender budget in India is split into two parts. Part A encompasses schemes that allocate funds exclusively for women, and Part B, the dominant share, focuses on schemes where at least 30% of funds are allocated to women. Furthermore, gender-responsive budgeting falls under Samarthya, a sub-scheme of Mission Shakti. However, the report also points out some key challenges in implementing GRB effectively. These include the exclusion of significant programs that benefit women and the lack of sex disaggregated data. To overcome these challenges, the UN report suggests several recommendations. Establish stronger monitoring mechanisms to enhance GRB quality at the sectoral level. Next, integrate GRB considerations during the budget prioritization phase. And lastly, encourage sub-national governments to adopt GRB practices for more comprehensive reach. India's dedication to gender-responsive budgeting is a step forward in creating a more equitable future.
Today, we mark an important milestone as the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Rural, or PMAY Rural, celebrates 8 years of dedicated service since its inception in 2016 by the Ministry of Rural Development. This scheme has been pivotal in transforming lives across rural India by providing much-needed housing for economically weaker sections of society. Let's take a closer look at its achievements and progress so far. As of November 2024, a remarkable 2.67 crore houses have been completed under PMAY Rural, out of 3.21 crores sanctioned. An inspiring aspect of this initiative is its emphasis on women empowerment. A significant 74% of sanctioned houses are owned by women, either solely or jointly. In parallel, the scheme has focused on skill development. Almost 3 lakh rural masons have been trained, contributing not only to the program's success, but also to rural employment generation. Now let's dive into the specific. PMAY Rural is a centrally sponsored scheme aimed at providing housing for the poorest segments of society, particularly those in the economically weaker section, or EWS. Originally targeting the completion of 2.95 crore houses by 2023-24, the scheme has since been extended, with an ambitious plan to build an additional 2 crore houses by 2029. This extension comes with a total outlay of 3,06,137 crore rupees, and ownership of the houses is mandated for the female head of the family. Beneficiaries include houseless households and those with kacha houses, as identified by the Socio-Economic and Caste Census of 2011. The selection process is robust, involving 3 stages of validation: the SECC list, approval by the Gram Sabha, and geotagging of beneficiaries. Eligible beneficiaries receive financial assistance of 1,20,000 rupees in plain areas and 1,30,000 rupees in the northeastern region, hill states of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Additionally, loans of up to 70,000 rupees are available at a reduced interest rate of 3%. To ensure holistic development, the scheme integrates with other initiatives. Beneficiaries receive 12,000 rupees for toilets under the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Also, there is convergence of schemes such as access to LPG connections under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala scheme and safe drinking water through the Jal Jeevan Mission. Moreover, the scheme provides 95 days of employment to eligible households as unskilled labor, along with the opportunity to upskill through rural mason training. In its 8-year journey, PMAY Rural has proven to be more than just a housing scheme. It is a testament to the government's commitment to empowering rural India, fostering dignity, and improving the quality of life for millions. In our last news, UNICEF has released its flagship State of the World's Children 2024 report, shedding light on pressing issues and future challenges for children worldwide. This year's report highlights 3 global megatrends: demographic shifts, climate crisis, and frontier technologies, which would create ripple effects across society, impacting trends like inequality, migration, and urbanization. Let's delve into the major findings of the report. The report highlights a significant demographic transition. The global child population is projected to stabilize at around 2.3 billion by the 2050s. Notably, India is expected to have 350 million children by 2050, accounting for 15% of the global child population. Moving to the climate crisis, the report presents stark realities. Nearly half of the world's children, 1 billion, live in countries facing high risks of climate and environmental hazards. According to UNICEF's 2021 report, India ranks 26th on the Children's Climate Risk Index, with children facing acute climate challenges. The report also focuses on frontier technologies like artificial intelligence and the persistent digital divide. Over 95% of people in high-income countries are connected to the internet, compared to just 26% in low-income countries. UNICEF offers actionable recommendations to tackle these pressing challenges. It emphasizes the need to integrate climate resilience into local planning and infrastructure, including schools and healthcare systems, to safeguard children's futures. The report also highlights the importance of investing in renewable energy solutions and cutting emissions by 43% by 2030 to combat climate risks effectively. Furthermore, UNICEF advocates for comprehensive policy reforms to protect children's rights in digital environments, address emerging digital crimes, and establish ethical guidelines for the responsible development of new technologies. The State of the World's Children 2024 report is a wake-up call for global leaders, urging them to act decisively on these mega trends to secure a better future for children worldwide. The personality in the news today is Dr. Harekrushna Mahtab. Recently, the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. Harekrushna Mahtab, known as Utkal Keshari, was celebrated. Born in 1899, Dr. Harekrushna was a freedom fighter, politician, historian, writer, social reformer, and journalist. His key contributions include actively participating in the non-cooperation movement, Salt Satyagraha, and more. He played a key role in the integration of Odisha into the Union of India. Dr. Harekrushna was influenced by figures like Swami Vivekanand, Ramakrishna Paramhans, and Mahatma Gandhi. He served as the Chief Minister of Odisha from 1946 to 1950. Through his actions, he showcased the values of determination, leadership, and more.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Recently, a bomb cyclone struck northwestern US and western Canada. Also referred to as bombogenesis, bomb cyclone describes a mid-altitude cyclone, that is, low-pressure region that rapidly intensifies over a 24-hour period. Recently, National Program on Climate Change and Human Health under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare released advisory to some states on cold wave conditions. Cold waves are weather occurrences caused by extremely low temperatures in the near-surface atmosphere. Recently, Ministry of Jal Shakti launched the Bhu-Neer portal during India Water Week 2024. Bhu-Neer portal aims to serve as a one-stop platform for managing and regulating groundwater resources at the state and national levels. Climate Change Performance Index 2025 is released by think tanks German Watch, New Climate Institute, and Climate Action Network International. The first three places have been kept empty, followed by Denmark, that is the fourth place. Ministry of Science and Technology launched India's first artificial intelligence data bank. AI Data Bank aims to provide researchers, startups, and developers access to high-quality diverse datasets essential for creating scalable and inclusive AI solutions. Researchers have developed a technology for targeted better detection of HIV using G-quadruplex topology targeted reliable conformational polymorphism platform. Human immunodeficiency virus type 1 or HIV-1 is a retrovirus which is responsible for the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome or AIDS. Recently, Department of Consumer Affairs released the draft rules for the microwave Doppler radar equipment for measuring speed of vehicles under the Legal Metrology General Rules 2011. Doppler radar is a type of radar that uses the Doppler effect to determine an object's location, speed, and distance. Recently, Union Minister of Science and Technology launched the first indigenous antibiotic, nephromycin, for resistant infections. Antibiotics are chemical substances produced both synthetically and by some microbes, used as drugs to kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, please visit the provided links in the description below.